Alright, let's talk about what I'm just going to call the EU special. A lot of healers reach out from the EU server. They're on a build similar to this. So let's talk about it. It's always a hollow fall. It's always a mistwalker jacket. It's always Muisak. The cape varies, sometimes limb carry their own. The helm's almost always royal or druid, and the shoes are almost always healer's preference. So this is pretty standard to what you're going to see. So let's talk about some of it. We have 58% heal cast, which is the same as cloth, so that's good, right? Heal the same as your cloth counterpart, but you're leather, so you're tankier. The big drawback of this is, one, your abilities are taking 25% more mana to cast, so that's not great. But because of that, you're almost always on a mana helm, which is royal or druid, but it's kind of selfish. You're already on kind of a selfish chest piece, right? Like, makes you immune, doesn't make anyone else immune, just makes them invisible. And I don't know, most people understand, hey, they're just invisible in here, we can still engage on everybody in here, you're not fooling anybody. It's not like, oh, where'd they go? I don't know. Like, they're still there. Like, it doesn't do much. It's a good chest piece for you, you can get out of stuff, but like I said, it's selfish. Helmet, also selfish, right? Like, only you get the mana from royal. Plus it can be purged, so that's not great either. And then carry their own cape. I just don't like carry their own cape. I get it, the double Q's nice in some situations, but you can't passive stack with it, right? Like, if you want to have your passive stacks up for a clump, well, there's my cape, and I wasted it for one passive stack. And I would rather have my passive up for their clump so I can heal for 20% more with my orb and E. So that's why I don't like carry their own much. If you're not passive stacking, it's fine, which I don't think most healers are. It's a lot to worry about and manage, so if you're not doing that, I don't mind carry their own cape here. But personally, I'd run limb. Also, let's talk about how to make the build a little bit better than what it is. So again, you heal great, you're tanky, that's cool. The only drawback of this build is your energy cost. It's 25%, which generally you're going to have a chariot, so it wouldn't be an issue while your chariot's up, but if your chariot goes down, well, now you might run into mana issues. So, especially with Stalker Shoe nerf coming, run clerics, and always run efficiency passive, right? 3.5% for heal cast isn't much, and it's going to be cut by healing receive by a third anyways. So it's really 2%. It's so little it doesn't even matter. Take the mana passive. And let's talk about your food. If you're going to run this build, just run crab omelet. You don't need the ab omelet like a cloth would because you're leather, so you're okay. So now we get the energy cost down to 8%, which is very manageable. You shouldn't ever run out of mana if you're healing correctly, even if your chariot's down now. So you can run the cleanse hood, you can run knighthood or helm, you can run guardian, like you can run a team utility helm. Maybe you need a valor, I don't know what you need, but your helm's free now, right? You're only at minus 8%. You're not going to have any mana issues even if your chariot goes down for an extended period of time, as long as you're healing correctly. It's just a better team utility build than if you were to stay on royal for just yourself.